2, 1. Hey, guys.
Go, you got this. This is part of the bloopers.
Yeah, me pasó igual que con Robbie. Hey guys, this is Raymond, and welcome back to the Be Extraordinary Poco podcast. Today's guest is Arisai. She's a local photographer here in Miami. Welcome.
Thank you, Raymond. So I am a Miami photographer, and my focus is on couples, elopements, and weddings. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Nice. Great to have you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you started and like how did your passion for photography like got to this point?
So I've had a camera in my hand since I was 15 years old. And the person who introduced me into photography was my sister.
Okay.
She actually went to college for a photography degree. And so since I was 15, I had a camera in my hand. I just didn't know that it was going to become my career. At that point, I had seen my sister go through college, and then she decided to go through a different career path after college. So I didn't see anyone around me who made it into their career and made a living out of it. Then many of jobs, hospitality, the corporate jobs,
Yes.
everything you can think of.
A 9 to 5.
Yes, exactly, the 9 to 5. And nothing was sufficing me. Like, nothing made me happy. I didn't feel passionate about anything, but photography was always there. You know, I always had that DSLR camera, the first one that my sister gave me, and I would use it from time to time. Then came the GoPro, all of that. So then around 2017, 2018, if I'm not mistaken, I started working for a photographer here in Miami, Florida. And she really opened the door to why I am pursuing this as a career today. She is a child photographer, a luxury child photographer, and I was her manager, like studio manager, and she opened the door into the business part of it, the one that I thought wasn't going to be capable for me to accomplish, because I hadn't seen a photographer be financially successful in my life until I came across her. So at that point, I knew that that was the career path I wanted to take. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to be the photographer. So I started editing. I started learning how to use Lightroom, Photoshop. And through there, I just started falling in love. And from that point forward, at that time, I was in a very toxic relationship with someone. And I had expressed to them like my love for photography. And I was editing during that time. I mean, I stayed up like at one point 50 hours editing. Like, I was so dedicated. Yeah.
That's good. Hey,
like,
that's what you do. That's what matters, right?
All right. I was super dedicated, and I knew it's what I wanted to do. And it's so important that you have a partner in your life who supports that.
Yes.
And at that point, I did not, unfortunately. And they were very demeaning with the words that they used to use, and it didn't, not only did I not believe in myself, because it doesn't matter what people tell you, you know?
That's why you believe in yourself. And sorry to hear that, because there's a lot of bad people out there, and
Yeah, I mean,
start to believe it because they repeat it and repeat it and repeat it.
exactly. And then it gets into your head. So that's something that happened, and it got into my head at that point. And then one thing led to another. The relationship didn't end up working out, and I went full throttle into it. And I was like, I want to start my own company. I want to become a photographer. The crazy part is that through all of that, I wanted to be a couples photographer. Like, I'm in love with the idea of love, and that person didn't dim that light for me. Like, it honestly just set like a passion for me to actually capture those moments for the people who are in love, and to tell their story the way that I see it through my lens, but making sure that they feel like it's authentic and candid the way that they felt it in that moment. So I started my business a year ago, and it's been going great, man. Like,
I see your work.
great.
You're super good. So guys, remember, hire her for February 14 is, St. Valentine's photo shoots, or for anything.
Wedding.
Wedding
Wedding.
photo shoots. We even team up. I'll do the video. She'll do the pictures.
Yes.
Yes. So let us know. And like, when you're going through your dark times, like, what type of tips will give people out there that are going through dark times, that they're like, hey, like, I want to follow my passion, but I'm going through this and someone is not helping me out. Like, how do you like get out of there? Like, what helped you get out of there?
Well, exactly. So I definitely think, first of all, get a dog. I'm kidding.
Okay. Don't get a cat for you. Don't get a cat.
Don't get a cat. Get a dog.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
No.
No. So I mean, truthfully, what I recommend in those moments, what kept me going, was being true to myself and asking me, like, why are you doing this? Like, first of all, is it for other people? Is it to fulfill some type of like aspiration that you have? Is it because you're passionate? Like, if that answer is because you're passionate, because that's what you aspire to be in life,
Yes.
no one can dim that light.
Yes.
Like, absolutely no one. So I feel like if you consistently like keep that in mind and keep your goals and what you want from yourself in mind, it will happen. And then just don't let people like that into your life, honestly. If maybe at that moment they're serving a purpose for you because you're learning a lesson, but once your lesson is learned, that's it.
Yes, I character
Like,
development.
Exactly.
Like, some people come into your life and then it's like you learn from it, and then like I tell people like, hey, when there's no enemies right here within, ¿quién contra ti?
Yeah.
Who against you? Because once you have like a clear mind about what you want to do in your life, and people say negative stuff, and social media nowadays, everybody's gonna say something like negative. So you told me about a book that you're reading right now.
Yeah, so I was about to mention.
Yeah.
So,
tell
a
us
good
about
friend
that.
of mine
Yes.
gave me this book, and it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I'm sorry, you could bleep that out.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
It talks a lot about giving importance to the things that truly should matter and not giving a fuck about the ones that shouldn't. For example, when you want to start something new, if it's a business or, you know, you just have a goal in mind personally, whatever it may be, career-wise or non-career-wise, and you already start thinking about all the obstacles, all the things that you may encounter. Exactly. So you start overthinking and you think about all those things that you may encounter, and that sometimes for people can be the one step that just like stops them, the one obstacle that just completely stops them. And you just don't need to give a fuck. Like, don't think about the obstacles. Let yourself go through it and learn how to manage those things, learn how to overcome them so that you can get to where you want to get to, because nothing in life comes easy.
Oh no, hell no.
Nothing.
Hell no. Yeah.
And if it did, it may not be there for long, or you may have it for all your life and you're very, you know, like, you got to be grateful for what you got.
Yes.
But most things don't come easily. They don't. Yeah.
You're just gonna let your passion take over, because you're gonna go through obstacles. A lot of stuff is gonna happen, and you gotta like know that this is what you want. I'm a photographer on the side too, so we know that maybe we don't have a client for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months. How do you deal with that pressure when a client is not coming in? Like, how do you stay positive?
Honestly, I think, as for me, it's my passion for photography.
Yes.
I'm so happy when I have clients and it brings me so much joy. But if I don't have a client, I have a friend that I'm like, hey, like, you want to do a photo shoot?
Yes.
I will plan a shoot. Oh,
It's like, get a dog.
get a dog.
It's okay, but mommy's busy. Mommy's busy. I'll attend it. Come.
It's okay. He'll be better. Oh, yeah.
Not in camera. Come on, Kylo. Come on, bro.
Don't get a dog.
And it's okay.
So
I got you. It's okay.
what was I talking about?
About calling your friend, like there's
I'll contact my friends, or if I know that there's like a different idea, and I've literally contacted random people on social media. Before that, I'm like, hey, you guys would be great for the shoot. Would you be interested? I think when you're starting off, you have to be realistic about what you have to, if you want to show things to people, not necessarily is it going to bring finances in the beginning. Yes. So just work, like, honestly, work your butt off. Even if you're not getting paid, it will benefit you at the end of the day. Maybe that person may recommend another person.
Or a business, and you practice, like you learn, like that type of photo shoot that you did, now you know how to do it. So when 2 or 3 clients come in, you're ready to go.
Right.
Like, for example, during that pandemic, I bought some, like, these mics, I bought them and I started practicing. Why? I love doing videos. I love talking about video games, geeky stuff, as you can see.
Right.
And when the client came, hey Ray, I like the voiceovers sound really crisp, really good. Let's do it for me. So when I came over there, I was ready to go. So sometimes, like you say, you gotta do your own projects, your own side things, and then clients will come.
And you will never stop learning. I can tell you that.
Every
Like
day you learn something.
you will, every single day you will keep learning. And I think it's good to seek out new ways to learn, and different ways to learn.
Like I can learn from you a lot. You taught me a few things, like, and I can talk. I got that the Puerto Rican side came out, but I can teach you a few things. You can
exactly.
other things, and like some people block themselves out. Like, hey, I'm trying to help you, and you can help me. But some people out there, they don't want to be helped. They think it's like, all about me. And I asked questions when I was talking with videography. I DM'd a few people. Shout out to Lobo Films. He's always like answering my questions. He's a big videographer, and I always ask him a few things, and he will always answer. So whatever videographer that is starting or photographer that is starting, and he's like, hey Ray, how do you do this? I'm like passing it on.
Right.
Because those videographers that help me out, it's my job, I think, right now to help those that are coming up.
Exactly. I get the same questions, or I even ask like photographer friends questions of my own that I think it's good to be open. I think in the videography and photography industry, there is a lot sometimes of like people guard like their stuff and their knowledge of things. And essentially everything is on the internet for the most part.
YouTube,
so like
YouTube Academy, I learned everything from YouTube. So people are like, oh no, I'm not gonna teach you. It's like, bro, I can learn that in YouTube, like
Exactly. And I don't find. So photography it's an art form.
Yes.
And everyone has their own way of portraying their photographs, of capturing that moment. So if you're afraid of someone being better than you, I don't know why, because no one can see things the way that you see.
Exactly. Everyone has a different
Exactly.
style.
Everyone has their different style. So for me, I don't mind helping people out because I know at the end of the day, I have my style and they have theirs.
Yes.
And it's not a competition.
Yes, we let the client decide.
Exactly.
There's a lot of clients out there that want different styles, different types of videos. It's like I tell people, go to Vitamin Shop, go to Publix. How many breads are there? How many sodas are there? How many energy drinks out there? And I know about energy drinks, so like go for it. Just make the jump. And have you ever had like somebody say, hey, Arisai, like I want to get into photography, but it's too many people out there. Like I don't want to be your competition. What will you tell that person like that is trying to start?
First of all, reach out to me. Like there's no problem in reaching out to me. It is honestly an honor to teach someone else.
Yes.
And it's good to have a community. So if there are any videographers or even photographers that watch this, reach out to us. Like it's so good to have a community. And in situations where you may feel like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I feel kind of like alone in this process.
Yes.
You're not. Like just reach out to people. The great thing about social media is communicating with one another. And whatever knowledge that I have and I can share with others, I'm more than willing to share. What I did learn, I'm taking a course by a photographer called Greg Williams, and he's a candid photographer. And my dog. It's incredible. He's a candid photographer, and he talks a lot about how there's about 2,000 people will try. I don't know exactly how it is statistically, but he said in a group of 2,000 people will try to become a photographer. 20 people actually have the skills and like the proper, I guess, I hate to say this, but like the proper art form. Yeah, the talent, like just the skill set, something that sometimes just comes naturally to people. And for others, they just learn it. And then out of those 20 people, only 2 will actually make it a business. So why not put those stats up and like help each other out? Because maybe it's that person does actually have the talent, but they didn't know how to do certain things. They were just never taught, never in the industry. So they're trying to learn by themselves, like open that door to other people. And
that's how you grow, like partnering up with other photographers or videographers. Because if I have a wedding, I'm going to hit you up. Hey, I decided like they're looking for the photographer. You are interested. And there's no competition. The better you help each other, the more you grow, because then you're going to become that photographer and videographer that is going to be like, oh, don't contact him or her because she's selfish, he is selfish, he doesn't help out. And you want to grow. And when you meet those people, you grow and it becomes like a team. Like my friend in Puerto Rico, he teamed up with another photographer, and now they have like a company called Love Frame, and it's blowing up. Yeah, every 2 weeks or every week they have a wedding.
That's
and
amazing.
it's how they did it. They communicated with each other. They teamed up. They love how they work together, and boom, now they have a little company. And you can still do your thing on the side, but you have that company that is gonna make what you want, like couple photo shoots or videograph, wedding videos. So it's all about community, like you said.
Right. And I think that, I mean, I'm a photographer and I have my own business, but I will go and second shoot a wedding.
Yes.
Meaning that for those who are not in the photography like industry, it means that you go and shoot with another photographer who has their own company, and your name will never come out in it. You will not be given credit for it other than the fact that you will be paid for that day.
Yes.
So I will go and do that because not only is it an experience for me, but I also like to go and help out other people who need the help. And financially, it's also,
really good.
Exactly, yeah. So at the end of the day, I think that it's best to not close yourself off and think that you could do it all by yourself, because I could tell you right now, it's most likely you're not going to be able to do it by yourself.
Teamwork makes it.
Exactly. So, 2 heads are better than one.
Oh, that is correct. So, like, how do you tell, like, how do you made it from when you started and now, like, poco a poco, like, how you...
So I started with a crappy camera, guys. That's where I started.
Start with the iPhone 7. So I know how it is, Don't worry.
And I've invested a lot into my equipment, into my education.
Yes.
I've invested into my education, my equipment, and just networking. Networking with meeting other photographers like we're talking about, or like meeting clients, and not being afraid to show what I got and to show up on social media, because that was one of the worst things.
It's another science too, social media.
Yeah, social media, I think, even to this day, is kind of my constant, like, learning curve. But yeah, just showing up, being consistent, and not giving a fuck.
That's exactly, that's how it is. You just gotta do you and forget the rest, because if you start to hear what people say, or you read the comments and you get like, oh my god, it's true, forget it. It's like an endless pit of like negative comments, and you cannot let that affect you.
At the same time, it's good to hear those comments sometimes. Like, it is good to have criticism. That's sometimes the way that we learn. Some of it, I mean, they're internet trolls, and it's unnecessary.
Bad criticism.
Exactly.
You can be like, you have people like come at you and say, hey, next time maybe try this type of or try this like new, and you take it, because I have people tell me, like, I have my own eyes, but maybe someone sees it differently, and it's happened to me, like, hey Ray, take this shot. I was like, oh man, like, I didn't see that. That's pretty cool. It was a pretty good shot. So I do it, and they're like, like, people appreciate it too, like when you take bad criticism and you learn from it. You cannot be like, oh, like, it's me and, F the rest.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna learn from it and just take it as it is.
Right. And I think that it comes from all sides. Like, even if your client, because a big part of videography and photography is customer service.
Yes, 100%.
Like, a huge part. Yeah. So if your client comes to you and they express any type of criticism, which thank God till this day has not happened, but I'm aware and I am open that I'm a human and I can make mistakes. And if my client, was like, I wanted a shot of this and like didn't happen, I will make up for that. Yes. Like, some way or another, I will make up for that. It hasn't happened. I don't think it will ever happen, because I am literally there step by step for every part of the process. But it's just learning from your mistakes and not getting stuck in like those little obstacles that present themselves and feeling like, oh, I messed up. Like, I'm just not a good photographer. I'm not a good videographer. Like, I can't do this. Those thoughts will always pass through your mind.
Yeah, of course.
Will always. That
any mistake that you do, sorry, interrupt.
No, go.
Like, any mistake that you do, like, you'll be like, damn, like, what's gonna happen now? You start to overthink what's gonna that client's gonna think about me, or the person that was seeing me, that was gonna hire me.
Right.
Now it's not gonna hire me because I make this mistake.
Right.
But you just gotta like learn from it, and then just go with the flow.
Imposter syndrome is what I was trying to think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of photographers and videographers suffer from that. I don't know why. Imposter syndrome is like a really big thing in our industry, and it kind of sucks because it stems from you truly not believing in yourself.
Yes.
And the only one that will get rid of that is you and your train of thoughts, changing your mentality on things, and honestly, just reinforcing yourself with positive thoughts and not letting those negative thoughts overtake you. So I think that from the moment that I started, I've been working on all of that. I'm about to make a year, with the business, and I can say that my self-confidence and the way that I handle things now have changed drastically within a year from now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And for any final words, what will you tell people out there that they want to open their own business, they want to do their own thing? What will you tell those people?
Well, one, save up.
It's a big time. Yeah.
Big time, especially in this industry, because they're going to invest a lot in equipment. Second of all, be truthful to yourself and price yourself at the right price.
Know your worth.
Know your worth. There you go. Know your worth. If someone, decides to not go for your pricing, someone else will. There will always be incoming clients to you, and what wasn't meant for you is not going to be meant for you. To learn from your mistakes and to always be seeking out a form of education to teach yourself how to better yourself in your craft.
That's awesome. And Arisai, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
somebody gets motivated by your story. It's awesome, and thank you so much. And remember, guys, team up. It doesn't matter, which side of the business you are. Learn from your mistakes, and things will always fall into place, poco a poco. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, okay?
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys, and thank you so much for being part of the Poco a Poco podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes.